The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Police probe CCTV footage of pharmacist homicide for clues. Investigating officers have acquired CCTV surveillance footage and are currently reviewing it as they are said to be pursuing a lead into Saturday night's homicide of pharmacist David Samuel Rahman. Investigators said they strongly believe that a bar owner holds the key to cracking the case. The footage the officers obtained and are combing through reportedly shows the assailant walking calmly along the street while Rahman, who had just pulled up to his home, was reversing into his yard. The assailant is then seen walking into the yard and shooting Rahman. As Rahman attempts to drive off, he crashes into a concrete wall on the opposite side. The assailant then runs up to the vehicle, opens fire again, and runs off. Police said preliminary investigation suggests that Rahman's homicide was a hit, allegedly ordered by a bar owner who owes him a huge sum of money. Rahman, 47, was the owner of the chemist at West Hills. Police said this was a second attempt on Rahman, as the first attempt was carried out in December 2021 when he was attacked at the compound of his business establishment. According to a police report, at about 8:10 p.m. on Saturday night, Rahman was shot several times by an assailant while driving into his home at Hyderabad Street, St. James. Rahman, upon receiving multiple gunshots, lost control of his vehicle, which crashed a short distance away. He was taken to the hospital for medical treatment, where he died. David Rahman is a brother of Andrew Rahman, who is currently the president of the Pharmacy Board of Trinidad and Tobago. Investigations are ongoing. Carjackers engaged in shootout with cops on Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway. A shootout between the police and carjackers on the Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway near the Kuva Hospital has resulted in the death of one man and the escape of another. The drama unfolded amid traffic around 3:45 p.m. and left some motorists traumatized. According to the police report, members of the Central Gang Unit were on inquiries at the surveillance point located on the highway near the Kuva Hospital and multi-training facility when they intercepted a stolen vehicle with two occupants in the vicinity of the Indian Trail flyover. Police said the two occupants alighted from the vehicle and opened fire on the police officers before attempting to escape. The officers gave chase and returned fire, which struck one of the suspects, who was taken to the Kuva Health Facility and pronounced dead on arrival. The suspect is yet to be identified. Video captured by a commuter showed a man crossing the grassy divide of the highway's north and south lanes before running along the roadway as he tried to escape. The video also showed a police officer moving through the traffic in hot pursuit of the carjacker. Some commuters reported that they had heard gunshots. Police launched a search for the man as he ran into bushes off the southbound lane of the highway. The search included the use of drones and a helicopter. An officer on the scene reported that a Toyota Fielder wagon was stolen from Union Hall, and officers acting on the report pursued the carjackers of the stolen vehicle on the highway to Indian Trail, where officers of the Central Division Gang Unit and Central Division Task Force were waiting at the police point. The officers spotted the stolen vehicle proceeding along the northbound lane, and as the vehicle was approaching, the officers attempted to intercept. That's when all hell broke loose, the officers said. The men suddenly stopped the vehicle and opened fire on the police, then attempted to escape on foot. The officers gave chase and returned fire, killing one of the suspects. The other man ran into the bushes up and over one of the small hills the officer added. The incident caused a backup of traffic on both lanes, and several motorists and their passengers were left in shock. Security was also heightened at the Couva Hospital, which houses critical COVID-19 patients. The search for the escaped suspect went well into Monday night. $2 million ransom demand from kidnappers of couple. We have nothing. We don't have that kind of money they are asking for. Those were the words of one of the nephews of the couple, Nareen Maraj, 62, and Matty Maraj, 52, who were kidnapped on Saturday evening after leaving their Madras St. Helena home to tend to their animals at a family-owned farm in Piarco. The kidnappers have since demanded a $2 million ransom for the safe release of the couple, but their nephew, who only identified himself as Andy, said there was no way the family could raise this type of money to pay for the release of his relatives. The situation is what it is, but based on the instructions of police, we cannot really talk about it. We were advised to not speak to the media about it since it might compromise the investigation, he said. Andy said he was baffled as to why anyone would think his relatives were in such a financial position to pay a $2 million ransom. This is not a rich family, so I can't say why anyone would believe that. My uncle was a mechanic all his life, and he was always going there with cars to fix, so I don't know if that is what they are seeing and think that this family has money, but they don't. We have nothing. We don't have anything, he said. Andy pointed out that the couple's 4 adult children were distraught and traumatized over the incident, but were asking those who had their parents in their custody to release them. No one has to get involved, police or no one. No one has to know. Just release them and we will pick them up, he said. He added that while the situation was a delicate one and he and the rest of his family were fearful for the couple's safety, they were also hopeful that the two would eventually be released in good health and reunited with their family. I cannot say anything more about it because it might compromise the investigation, but we are all hurt and traumatized, and we are hoping things work out for the better, he said. The police report that about an hour after the couple had left their home, one of their children received a phone call from their father's phone. At the other end of the line was an unrecognizable male voice which said, "We have your people, and we are demanding $2 million for them." Acting Police Commissioner McDonald Jacobs said that his officers are doing everything possible to locate the missing couple. That investigation is quite active. Even as we speak right now, that investigation is taking place. It is being pursued, he said. However, Jacob said while officers had received certain information, he was not willing to make that information public, since it could possibly compromise the investigation. I do not want to speak too much on it right now, he said. Officers close to the investigation said that the couple had left their home around 5:30 p.m. on Saturday in their silver-colored Ford Focus vehicle to check on their animals and property in Piarco. At 6:35 p.m., their family members received the phone call. Immediately after the call ended, the couple's daughter repeatedly attempted to call the number back, but there was no answer. A report was then made to the police, and at around 12:05 a.m. the following morning, officers said they received a tip-off and an exercise was conducted in Orupun Gardens, Aruca, but neither the couple nor their vehicle was located. That exercise was coordinated by Inspector Pitt and supervised by Inspector Callender and Inspector Rampallard of the Anti-Kidnapping Unit, AKU. It also included members of the Northern Division, Northeastern Division, Tunapuna Criminal Investigations Department, CID, and the Air Support Unit. Police are asking anyone with information on the whereabouts of the couple to contact 555 999 or 800-TIPS. Husband escapes, wife still missing. A man who was part of a couple kidnapped from their farm in Piarco and for whom a $2 million ransom was made has escaped his kidnappers. However, up to late last night, his wife remains in the custody of the men who took them. 3 men are now being questioned by the police. The husband and wife were identified as Nareen Mirage, 62, and Matty Mirage, 54. According to a police report, around 5:30 p.m. on Saturday, Mirage and his wife left their home at Madras Road, St. Helena, to go to 3B's Drive, Piarco, to check on their property and animals in vehicle PCC 1786, a silver Ford Focus. Around 6:35 p.m., one of their daughters received a phone call from her father's cell phone where a strange male voice stated, "We have your people and we are demanding $2 million for them." The daughter tried to contact her father's phone again, but the attempt was futile. A report was made to the Piarco police station and officers responded by visiting the 3B's Drive area, but the victims and their vehicle was not at the location. Police said that at about 12:15 a.m. yesterday, they acted on information that they had received and conducted an exercise in Aurepoon Gardens in search of the kidnapped couple. It involved members of the Anti-Kidnapping Unit, the Northern Division ERP units, the Northern Division Task Force, the Aruka CID, the Tunapuna CID, and the Air Support Unit. The officers conducted searches at Buildings 1 and 2 in the Chinatown area of Aurepoon Gardens for their victims, but their searches were futile. However, police reported late yesterday evening that the couple's vehicle was recovered in Wallerfield. They said Nareen was being medically attended to following his escape up to late last night. Police said that after evading his kidnappers, he managed to flag down a vehicle around 3 p.m. and asked the driver to take him to the nearest police station. He was said to be in good health. Police confirmed that 3 suspects were also subsequently arrested in connection with the kidnapping. Relatives are now being told by police not to talk about the latest developments with anyone as the investigation is said to have reached a sensitive stage. Prior to this latest development, a close female relative said the couple's 4 adult children are holding strong and praying for their safety. The relative said sometime between 5 and 5:30 p.m. they received a phone call from someone demanding a ransom, but she claimed that no ransom sum was given, contrary to the official police report. The person just called and said they wanted a ransom, but no amount, and we have not heard anything else again from them, the relative said. We really don't know who or why. All we were told was that the car was seen leaving the farm, and no one could have seen inside the car as it drove off, she added. Mirage is a retired auto mechanic and operated an auto mechanic shop and wrecking service for 20 years. Since his retirement, he handed over his business to his only son, who is one of 4 adult children. Mirage's wife is a housewife. The couple would usually go to see the few animals they have at Piarco, which is not too far from their home at Madras Road. They just have a few chicken, duck, and mostly crops, the relative said. Asked if the couple had an argument with anyone, the relative replied, "No, Nareen is well known in the area, but he have no enemies. We don't have any enemies, so we really don't know what's happening." The relative said when they went to the farm, all they saw was a couple's slippers and added that nothing else was seen amiss. "We are holding up okay for now, just praying that the police find them and they are alive and healthy. Nareen has medical complications and we are worried about him with that. We just need them back home with us," the relative added. I'm curious to know, did the husband attempt to free his wife before he escaped the kidnappers?